Wow, that's loud. It's the award-winning In-Wheel Time Car Talk Show. Just ahead, our story of the week. Guess what the Hemming sold car went for? And recalls. God. Later, Jeff has the racing calendar. Mars has This Week in Auto History, and I'll bring you the stories making automotive news headlines. Howdy, along with Mike out of this world, Mars, who's right over there.
Back there. He's over there.
He's everywhere. We always need more Jeff Zekin. David Ainsley. David Ainsley is joining us from his bed. I'm Don Armstrong. Thanks so much for joining us today. It's going to be good.
You think Larry's in his bed? Larry the cat?
No, you know, that cat thing with David. David has two cats. Larry and what's the other one's name?
Not Larry.
Not Larry.
Yeah. Larry's a pretty,
I guess, Larry intelligent, was the only one.
No,
feline.
there's two. No, there's two cats. Two cats in the yard. All right. Let's do our story of the week that I have selected for all. Are you ready?
Mm-hmm.
It's about tariffs.
Okay.
And the like. So listen to this. Major decisions on tariffs, the future of North American trade, and new duties on robotics loom for the auto industry this year, offering potential clarity on a policy landscape that has upended the planning of automakers and suppliers, including EVs or not EVs. U.S. Supreme Court in the first part of 2026 now is expected to rule on the legality of many tariffs enacted by President Trump earlier this year, and the future of North American trade will come into focus as the United States, Mexico, and Canada review their trilateral trade agreement that Trump suggested the U.S. could abandon. At the same time, the Trump administration has signaled it could pursue a wide range of new tariffs, including on industrial robotics and critical minerals. New tariffs will likely weigh heavily on auto companies as they decide how to adjust production and investment plans, according to experts. And the Supreme Court is expected to rule on the constitutionality of many of Trump's tariffs in early 2026 now. Mm-hmm. The case pertains to duties issued under the International Emergency Economic Powers Act of 1977, which includes nation-level reciprocal tariffs on global trade partners and those Trump said he placed on Canadian, Mexican, and Chinese goods in response to fentanyl trafficking. Can he do that? Well, the Supreme Court's going to say one way or the other. The U.S.-Mexico-Canada agreement is up for review this year, 6 years after the trilateral trade deal went into effect. In July, the three countries must signal in writing whether they want to continue with the agreement. If so, the deal will be extended for another 16 years. If not, USMCA, U.S., Mexico, Canada, would enter into a period of annual reviews before potentially expiring in 2036. Now remember, we have lots and lots of car manufacturers, not necessarily American, in Mexico. Mm-hmm. And let's not forget, a lot of the Detroit Three have also building places out there in Canada, right across the river. The Trump administration appears poised to issue a wide range of new tariffs in 26. Commerce Department in September launched a national security investigation into imports of robotics and industrial machinery under Section 232. Thank you, Barney Fife. The same law used to implement auto duties. The Commerce Department is expected to issue the results of its investigation no later than the end of this month. So the whole trade thing is all up in the air now. And who's to say what's going to come of it? To me, what is more concerning is USMCA, because it has kind of overridden a lot of the tariffs that have been put into place between Mexico, the United States, and Canada. So they're kind of doing the USMCA thing, but if it's all up in the air, and I'd failed to mention in there that President Trump has even said, hey, we might even do just a bilateral deal. In other words, the United States and Mexico, that'd be one deal, United States and Canada would be another
Rather
separate
than the
deal.
trifecta. Yeah.
Correct. So it's going to be very interesting. It's going to be one of those things that you'll want to keep up on because it's going to have a huge effect on the auto industry and imports too.
Now, George W. Bush, not George H.W., not the dad. The son is the one that implemented all that. They got that deal working.
Yeah.
USMCA.
Yeah, USMCA.
Yeah. Is there a dance to it, Mike? USMCA?
You're going to ask him. You're going to ask him to dance.
He does the Macarena on Friday nights.
Mars, do you dance? I've never seen you dance. Well, at least not on a dance floor.
I do dance on the dance floor. By golly,
do you belly rub?
I did want to say one thing about the polished belt buckles, but the tariffs and stuff. I understand all that being a tool, but when you start talking about doing annual reviews, I mean the government is so big. An annual review takes a couple of years. I can't imagine how that would help doing anything.
Obviously, they would have to speed that up a bit, don't you think?
And well, create another department.
Saying that for 20 years.
Well, there is that.
More bureaucracy.
All right, let's do some recalls, shall we?
All right.
Airbag inflator may detach from the steering wheel, kind of like the one in Family Vacation.
Yeah.
You know, kind of detached. All it was a blow-up plastic bag, but whatever. For the Nissan Cube, 2009 to 2010. Look who's on here. Ford Motor Company.
Not again.
Loss of drive power due to a transmission misalignment. Martha, what is that sticking through the floor back there? It's the drive shaft.
Transmission or drive shaft misalignment?
This is a transmission misalignment, which would cause
the drive shaft. Yeah.
Yeah. It would be a big, huge mess.
So it's not connected to the engine. It's
how do you misalign the transmission?
Well, I don't know.
Probably a mount, probably a mount or something.
I would think.
Yeah.
All right. Oh, but we're not done.
Okay.
Sun visor wiring may cause a fire. Pull over.
So when
the sun visor's on fire.
When I'm putting
on
my makeup,
need a light on the mirror.
Yeah, when I'm putting on my makeup and I poke myself in the eye with my Maybelline.
It's the Ford Ranger for 24 and 26. No. Oh, but let's not stop there.
Why stop now?
Engine block heater may overheat and cause a fire. Now, that typically is not a problem here in the Houston area. However, up north, it could be. For the Ford Bronco Sport and the Ford Maverick 25 and 26.
Speaking of that, do you know there's still snow on the ground in the UP of Michigan, Calumet, UP, Michigan? It's a weather station. They still have like 2 feet of snow on the ground.
That's why we live here.
Yeah, and that's why they have engine block heaters up there.
You have to, because the engine will, and you have to have a battery tender on it overnight, and maybe a little battery blanket or something.
Yeah.
Brake pedal may detach from the brake booster on the Audi e-tron and the e-tron Sportback. Even though they're electric, they still have a brake pedal.
Yeah.
Yeah,
but
2019 to 2024. Well, it cannot be, yes. And there's a do not drive order issued for the Roush Nissan Frontier Pro 4X R for 2026.
What?
Roush
Do not drive. Loss of steering control from a loose or missing fastener. Okay.
Roush Nissan.
Yeah, I didn't know that they were doing
Doodah.
Yeah, doodah.
Okay. And Land Rover, Range Rover, Jaguar, they're all under recall. Loss of drive power from a DC-DC converter failure, all electrics, you're screwed.
Oh, boy.
Lift gas springs may rupture on the Mitsubishi Outlander and the Outlander PHEV 2014 through 2022, and improperly welded seat brackets on the Toyota RAV4 for 2025. All right. Now let's get to the fun stuff, shall we?
All right.
We don't have too long, but we can't linger on this.
Don't linger.
We're not lingering.
No lingering.
Dilly-dallying.
There's a big lingering Felter open house today going on up there in Michigan. So here's what we got. These, ladies and gentlemen, are this week's Hemmings sold cars. Okay?
Got it, Michael?
Are you guys ready for this?
Do we have Jeffrey and George? Calling all Jeffreys and Georges and Davids.
George was here a few minutes ago.
Okay,
Tammy
let's get moving.
Here's the first one. A 1966 Jaguar XKE. Now, back in the day, this was the bomb. The 66 Jaguar XKE. Look at the length of that
I
hood.
know it.
Massive. How much do you
66
think
Jag.
that thing went for? It's a convertible, obviously, and it's got wire wheels on it. It could be all original.
Ah, it's beautiful.
One thing I found really interesting about this, it's an automatic. I did not even know they made an automatic in
I
that.
did not either. Maybe
I'm
that's
going to go 129.
129 for Jeff.
Yep.
Is there anybody else that would like to throw it out?
40.
Heisman's sitting at 40.
40. Okay. Is
George sitting at 18. Oh wait, what?
13,999.
13,999.
okay. It went for $162,750.
Hey, I'm close. That's all.
And I think
That's that automatic option.
Yeah.
Probably so. Rare. Okay.
Golly.
Let's move on to something that's comparable in the American standard. A 1963 Chevrolet Corvette split window coupe. Okay? Now it's got those big louvers on the hood, and I can't remember what that means. Is it a no? A 63 did not have. Was it a 409 an option? 63? I don't know. But anyway, this is a rare car. It looks like it's got original knockoffs on it, and it looks like it could be restored, original. Okay, so let's go for the gold here. How much?
I'm going to say. I'm just going to go flat 200,000. There's a David and Stacy Lusk say 48,000.
48,000.
And
I say it's a
let's see here.
six-figure car.
Jeff said 51. And George is at 28,999.
A 63 Chevrolet Corvette split window coupe that you see before you went for $174,300.
Candace says 50. She got
Well, not bad.
We'll take that donation.
Okay, the next up is a 68 Ford Mustang, Candace Thackeray Sneed. You should know this one. Now, it does have aftermarket wheels on it, and it is the fastback variety. 68 Ford Mustang.
That's pretty too.
It is pretty. It's a pretty car. How much do you think that went for?
I'm gonna go 71. I don't know what just came to mind.
Anybody else? We're going to have to move along.
I'm still seeing things like incredible about the previous car.
Okay, so this car sold for $70,350.
Oh,
$350. Thank you, Jeffrey.
all right.
And he didn't look over my
$61,000.
shoulder.
No, I don't want to look.
Next up is a 1972 Chevrolet Chevelle. This is like the Malibu SS, if I'm not mistaken. Yep, it says SS on the side.
Yep.
Does have aftermarket wheels, got some Krager SSs on it.
Yep,
See, if I had that car, it would not have Krager SSs on it. But it's a very, very nice car. Let me put it that way.
And if you look at the way it's displayed, it's got a 454 and a manual 5-speed.
52.
But the 454 didn't have any horsepower, so I'm just saying. Had lots of torque. But
Yeah.
Okay, so how much?
Oh, no horsepower. I'm gonna go 51 then.
51? Anybody else want to join in?
Yeah, I'm not sure if David's going at this one or not.
I just
Jeff
saw another
saying
one up there.
69,
David.
69,000. Okay. Well, I'm going to tell you right.
49.
25. It sold for $90,300. Probably because it had that big block Chevy in it. All right. Next up, something we're going to bring it back to earth now. This is a resto mod. It's got a not factory hood
that's
on
nice.
a 66 Chevy Malibu. I know. Me too. I'd do that. So how much do you think that 66 Malibu sold for?
I'm gonna say I'm gonna go flat 100 grand.
Really?
Yeah, I'm gonna go 100 grand.
Dang. It's a resto mod though, Jeff.
Yeah, and it's a Malibu. It's not a Chevelle.
I'm sticking to my gun.
Okay.
If I'm over, I'm
Anybody
over.
else?
Oh yeah.
Anybody else want
Hold
to
on.
guess the price on that? We got some more coming in.
32 from David and Stacy.
David and Stacy said 32.
Jeffrey's 35.
Okay. Anybody else?
George is in the 999.
Yeah.
75.
Okay.
Candace.
Well, David and Stacy, they won 29,925
Oh, wow.
is what it sold
Yeah.
for.
I was buying like multiples.
Okay. Next up, a 49 Studebaker 2R5. Remember, I went through the whole thing about the Studebaker last week.
37.
Because this is almost like a car-like grill on the front of it. And there's so many features that are so car-like for 1949 about this. I think that this is a beautiful truck for what it is. I mean, look at it.
Mm-hmm.
I'd want one of these.
37.
37 for Jeff. Anybody else? Okay. It's sold for $17,535.
Wow.
See, this is
We're all over. Everybody's saying in the 40s and 50s. Yeah.
See, this is the thing that I love about that is the fact that you can get those. The problem is trying to find parts.
Yeah, maintenance of it too.
Next up, 66 Chevy Malibu. This looks like a stock vehicle.
That's a good one too.
Yeah.
That's a daily driver there.
Now, is that a small block V8?
Looks like it.
It does. It has the emblem on the front of the hood, front of the fender there. Anyway, 66 Malibu sold for $24,150.
Wow.
$24,150. And finally today, the 67 Ford F350. This is a 1-ton
Steak truck.
It is a stake bed truck. The stakes aren't on it, but it's a stake bed. Is it a tilt bed? I don't know. You can't tell.
You
There's no
never know, though.
indication of that.
It's a 1-ton. You could easily do a hydraulic system on that. How much do you think that truck sold for?
15 grand.
15 grand.
Yeah, probably too high on that. David and Stacy say 5. That's probably closer.
Anybody else?
Yeah, Jeff is 33.
Well, David and Stacy, you win. It's sold for $5,000.
You own a steak truck.
You own it. That's it.
What?
But see, if that were me, I would put the stakes on it.
I would put
Wouldn't
a
you?
camper. I'd take that flat off there and I'd build some kind of camper on it.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah. A big
Yeah.
cab over camper.
Yeah.
Now, what you do, you have one of those.
With a pass-through.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, we would have a Mars camper on the back of it, where you step up into the back of it, kind of like those nuclear trucks that you see roaming around on the freeway.
Or just leave it flat and put a tent back there. Stake a tent down on it, and there you go.
Great.
Yeah.
All right, you're invited to join us again next
say
week
keep
for
it.
our live show, 10 to noon Central. Listen and watch on InWheelTime.com, Facebook, and YouTube. If you miss it, you'll be able to connect through a podcast from your favorite podcast channel anytime. We're back after this quick break. Be with us. Stay with us.
The Tex-Mex dining experience is defined by Loopy Tortilla, your destination for Texas's best beef fajitas and frozen margaritas. Since 1983, Loopy Tortilla has served authentic and time-tested recipes made with the freshest ingredients. Atmosphere is part of the award-winning experience at Loopy Tortilla, all developed in a little house near Highway 6 and I-10 in Houston. Visit any of the Loopy Tortillas and you'll see the same attention to detail in each and every location. Start your Loopy experience with queso flammeado and guacamole, along with a classic frozen margarita. Dine on famous Loopy beef and chicken fajitas or pepper shrimp brochette, or a fish or vegetarian entree, and finish with a scrumptious flan for dessert. Find Loopy Tortilla in Houston, College Station, Beaumont, Austin, San Antonio, and Dallas-Fort Worth. There's a Texas location near you. The recipes are authentic and time-tested. The ingredients always fresh. Loopy Tortilla. Eats pretty good. The In-Wheel Time Car Talk Show thanks you for 15 wonderful years. Yep, our first show aired May 7th, 2011 on a local radio station. Then it was a move to the digital world and social media, and you followed. Thank you. We continue to build and grow our fan base, and it's all because of you and your auto enthusiast friends. We appreciate your support. It's always great to see you at our remote broadcast, too, and we hope you'll continue to stop by and say hello. It's been a great ride, and we hope to bring you more fun and adventure right here on the In-Wheel Time Car Talk Show.
Great day, I
It
can
is.
tell already.
Yeah.
I feel it in the air.
In the
All
air.
right, as we wrap things up, let's start with Jeff's racing calendar, sponsored by the Texas Muscle Car Club Challenge.
And thank you for that. We've got NHRA going on right now, the 1st to the 3rd, the NHRA Southern Nationals, the Georgia Motorsports Park. All classes, pretty much all the classes are competing, and it's going on right now. Formula One, well, they're back in Miami, and we'll see how that goes. Miami's a good host
Talking
of a
about
race.
Miami.
There you go. So that's going to go on at Formula One. There was testing, I believe, yesterday. Indy is going on the road course at Indianapolis next week, May 9th. So that's going to be next Saturday. They're going to do that. And it's all in prep for the Indy 500. Here we go. NASCAR making history again. They've got their first black female driver. Destiny Spurlock is set to make NASCAR history. Black female driver driving the number 69 truck for MBM Motorsports Garage 66, and she'll be competing at Watkins Glen. She's made her way through the ranks, and they're going to put her in a truck. And then you've got the regular NASCAR boys, of course, where they're in Texas today and tomorrow. Friday they ran the truck race, and that was, where was that? Yeah, it was all in Texas. Everything ran in Texas. I apologize for that. So that's all going on this weekend for NASCAR. And then you've got the NASGrass, the Lone Star Mower Association. They're coming up. They're going to be next week on Mother's Day as well. So that's going to be in Florida.
Let's go down there and watch some racing lawnmowers. All right,
lawnmowers.
time now for This Week in Auto History, Mr. Mars.
All righty, sir. Got a few things that we saw was we really thought were interesting this week in auto history. You got it, Jeff?
Yep.
All righty. So this week, April the 29th, Oldsmobile built its final vehicle. Now, this closed the chapter that began on 1897 when Ransom E. Olds founded the company. I did not know it, but the cars were originally called Olds, after Ransom E. Olds, automobiles, from the Olds Motor Works up until 1942, and then it just kind of caught on, and it actually became the Oldsmobile. And they were known for being innovators. They introduced the automatic transmissions and several modern production techniques. And at the height, they were selling 1 million cars a year. Now, as General Motors expanded, and being General Motors being what it is, they had problems maintaining a different identity. They kind of got lost in the shuffle. So when they finally closed, they were the oldest American automobile brand still existing. And now that title has passed on to Buick in Jeff's honor.
Thank you.
So on April 30th, prior to World War II, the Rover Car Company was building luxury cars. Now, during the war, the factory got bombed. So restarted after they launched the Land Rover as a rugged utilitarian vehicle, basically focused on agricultural. And the idea was to build these easy to assemble vehicles with aluminum panels, very square, very boxy, for 2 or 3 years, get some money going, get back into the Main Street luxury automobile market. But when they finally did that, they figured out that this Land Rover they were building actually outsold the cars. So they dropped that and focused back on the Land Rover and kept building them since then and created a very historic type vehicle. Next, we have May the 1st. The first Nelson motor car. Now, Nelson was a 29 horsepower car, started in 1917, and they were able to build 10 vehicles per day. Now, this was designed very much like a European style, and it had a 2.4 liter 4-cylinder engine to start with. So, but they began production just before World War I. Of course, timing is everything. And so the E.A. Nelson Auto Company had serious financial issues. So September 1921, the company again filed for bankruptcy, but was permanently closed. So from 1917 to 1921, the company produced 1,028 cars.
Wow.
There is one known preserved car left today.
I like the wing on the back of that convertible.
You like that? Yeah, that's for the high speed. Now, May the 1st, Ford also introduced a new reduced work week in 1926, and they did a lot, 26. They've done a lot of things to change production models, but this decision was actually made in 1922 when Ford, they had 8-hour working days, and it was 6 days a week, and it gave them a 48-hour work week. But in 1926, it was announced that they were going to go to 5 8-hour days, giving a 40-hour work week that is generally considered what we have today. And it started with on May the 1st and 26th, the factory workers switched to that 4-day, 40-hour work week, and then the office workers switched thereafter. Then in May the 1st, in 1994, Ayrton Senna dies at the Imola F1 Grand Prix. Now, this was really significant because this guy was a real up-and-comer. He was pretty young, and but during the qualifying runs the day before, there had been a lot of accidents. Roland Ratzenberger died in qualifying in an accident. Now, this really brought a lot of attention to it. This was a friend of his, and he was really focused on it, and it really bothered him. So he was trying to get everything and make sure he could stay as safe as he could, new family, all that. he wanted to make some adjustments to the steering column of his race car the night before the race. No time to rebuild it. So his crew got together and they modified his existing steering column, welded in some pieces to extend it the way he wanted it. Now, things went off. He took off on the race, but anyway, he had an accident, high speed in the corner, crashed, and the steering column is what killed him.
Wow.
Now, there was a lot of information, a lot of investigation. It took years. The first time, the owner of the team and the pit crew were charged with negligence because they welded it and they did not do it properly. Supposedly, the courts found that the accident was caused because of that failure, and so they were all charged. And then later, the courts determined that it wasn't the cause. And then again later, another trial, they decided it was. Nobody actually went to jail or anything, but a lot of people got charged, and it was a very sad thing, and it created a lot of changes in the F1 as far as safety and things go. And again, it was really sad to read as much about it as I did because this guy was really a nice upcomer, it seemed.
Tesla has, thank you. Tesla tallied up Elon Musk's annual compensation for the first time since shareholders approved his moonshot pay package. And it's a doozy, $158 billion. The bulk of the sales, about $430.1 million, came from doing business with xAI, Musk's artificial intelligence startup. Tesla first disclosed in January. Automaker added this week that it also recognized another $143.3 million in revenue from SpaceX. He ain't doing too bad. And Nissan told U.S. suppliers April 30th that it has dropped plans to build electric vehicles in Mississippi. Ain't happening, ain't no more. In-Wheel Time Car Talk Show. We're going to wrap things up for this week right after this quick break. Stay with us.
Your car is a direct reflection of you, so don't be satisfied with color fade or a dingy, dull appearance. Get rid of those terrible automated car wash scratches. Gulf Coast Auto Shield is your Save the Paint company. John Gray and his team of detailing experts can help your cars finish without a full repaint. Searching for real experts in window tint or windshield protection? Gulf Coast Auto Shield. Dash cams, radar detectors, Gulf Coast Auto Shield. Got a new car? Get it protected as soon as you take delivery. If you don't know which of the multitude of protection products to go with, John Gray will give you an honest opinion and won't sell you something you don't need. John will help you understand the many options and pricing right on the spot. He's your guy to have your ride looking its best and protected too. See the state-of-the-art shop yourself. Free tours anytime. Gulf Coast Auto Shield is easy to get to, located just south of the Southwest Freeway on the Sam Houston Parkway. Gulf Coast Auto Shield, full-service luxury car care today and online at gcautoshield.com. Gift giving should be meaningful, and we have an idea. A hand-painted custom illustration of your car from one of the nation's leading artists. Now you can get one or a car show poster customized for you, a friend, or a loved one. Bill Sites will be happy to guide you through the process. No matter what the day, birthday, anniversary, or any day, an Autographics custom illustration adds an extra touch of class to any home. Call Bill today, 832-922-0963. That's 832-922-0963.
Well, that's all for this week's In-Wheel Time Car Talk Show. Be sure to check us out online at inwheeltime.com. We're always looking for new, informative, and great automotive things to bring to our global audience. If you have an idea, an event, road trip, or a tall tale you'd like us to feature, let us know. Our email address is info@inwheeltime.com. When you're searching for award-winning car talk, you can find the In-Wheel Time Car Talk Show 24/7 on the In-Wheel Time app and website. Grab a podcast from your favorite podcast store. And we video stream our live show every Saturday 10 to noon on Facebook, YouTube, and inwheeltime.com. The In-Wheel Time video coordinator is we always need more Jeff Zekin. For booking agent and video editor, Michael Out of This World Mars. And let's not forget Chief Engineer David Ainsley. I'm Don Armstrong. Thanks to our weekly show contributors, Jeff Heitzman and George Skelton. We hope you'll join us again next week for another live edition of In-Wheel Time from our Dual City studios. We'll be on 10 to noon Central Time. Have a great, safe weekend, and so long for now.
That's it for this podcast episode of the In Wheel Time Car Show. I'm Don Armstrong, inviting you to join us for our live show every Saturday morning on Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, and our InWheelTime.com website. Podcasts are available on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Stitcher, iHeart Podcast, Podcast Addict, TuneIn, Pandora, and Amazon Music. Keep listening, and we'll see you soon.